Hello, hello. Welcome to a spontaneous Friday live stream. I'm trying to get Instagram set up here. Here we go. Perfect. Welcome to Friday. It is Red Friday here in Kansas City, even though we've got the Super Bowl in about a week or so. But things are good. Sun's out. It's a great week. A lot of really cool things going on. But I wanted to hop on to this live stream real quick and talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. And that is client service. Specifically, a question that you may not be asking your client when it comes to, or prospects, when it comes to engaging them to figure out truly what defines success in the engagement that you've got them in. So if you're going to work with a client and you're, talking through the sales process or the prospecting process, pre-event or pre-matter, pre-deal, what does success look like? And I like the way that Harvard Business Review asks this question because I've not heard it, but it sings near and dear to my heart because of what you're about to hear. But what is that pop champagne moment for you as a client, not only from just a short term, but a long term benefit? What is that instance? What is that thing that happens in the engagement that we're about to get into that defines success, that makes you really thrilled that we work together in whatever capacity we're working together? And I think what we often do too is that we get that answer from one person, from one perspective, one angle, one position, one level. And what I think is important that Harvard Business Review calls out in this article, which is fantastic, is the idea of asking multiple people what their pop champagne moment looks like as well. Because, and also in the case of me as a speaker, what does success look like for the individual, for the company, but also for the audience members? So looking at the different angles of who is going to be involved, who is going to be impacted by whatever we're going to be engaging in from a sales process or an event process. And let's really define what that looks like. Because a lot of times we may be, as the person that is coming into the engagement, we may be thinking like, oh, the client wants this or the prospect wants this as success. They want to grow revenue. They want to do, this. They want to have, a certain score on their surveys, whatever the case may be. We may be thinking one thing, and we may be going into an event or a deal thinking that this is the main success factor. But unless you ask that question, you may not uncover the fact that it may be something completely different. There may be an additional add-on factor to that success metric, or it may be just an intangible or some sort of an engagement or an emotional standpoint that they want to feel this certain way. So I'll give you a perfect example. I was talking with a prospect the other day about an event that we're discussing terms and trying to get on the same page as far as what they're looking for. And so when I ask the question, it's typically, what does success look like here? They go into a lot of planning for events and they're getting a lot of resources pulled in. They're bringing, people in from all over the place. They've got, resources and money that they're spending on hotels and the event space and AV and everything else. So there's a lot that goes into the events that I work with my clients on. And so when I ask, what does success look like for you? I always want to ask it a couple of different times because a lot of times it's, we just, people just they want to get together. It's the first time we've been together since the pandemic. We've been doing virtual events and now this is the first in-person event. And we want people to feel engaged. We want people to feel connected. We want to have some sort of a bonding moment. And so when we think about those things and asking just one person, you get one answer. But, if there are multiple people on a call, or if there's somebody else involved in the process, or you can ask that one person, okay, great. From your team's perspective, that's what you view. And that's what you think the audience wants. But what's something else that they may get out of this? What do you want them to walk away with? What do you want them to feel when they walk away from my presentation or the event itself? What do you want them to do differently? What are the struggles that they're facing that you want to have them be able to overcome, or at least have some sort of a path to success? And how can I help get it to that point? So in asking those questions and diving a little bit deeper and really probing on what success looks like, because let's be honest, when people are, because having been an event planner myself, I know when you put events together, there's an internal conversation around why you're doing the event, what you want the theme to be, what you want the vibe to be. That's why you go out and hire a speaker that talk about a certain topic. So there are lots of conversations going on before somebody like myself gets brought into the process because they're dumping a ton of resources into it. But at the end of the day, it really is understanding the different angles and the different people that are going to be involved. So if you're not asking that question, what success looks like, what success feels like, what does this event need to do to change behavior? What confidence level do you want people, like what, all of those different things, and bring emotion into it too. Yes, there are metrics, and maybe it's, we're looking to generate this, or we're hosting a client event and you're coming in to talk, and we're hoping to get some leads out of this. How can I bridge my content to make sure that those conversations happen? But when I bring emotion into it, that is something that differentiates, because you want people to feel a certain way and do something different when they walk away from that. So when it comes to team dynamics, I think that's also a really important thing. So take, shifting gears on the example. If you've got a project you're working on internally and you've got multiple stakeholders from multiple departments working on a project, maybe it's a software implementation, maybe it's a change management issue, maybe it's digital transformation, whatever the case may be. You need to go to those different audiences and ask them the same question. What is your pop champagne moment? What are you hoping to get out of this that's going to make it successful for you? And not that every single person is going to have this euphoric, utopian example of, I want our software to be able to do my job without me doing anything, and I just want to still get paid. That's not going to happen. And maybe it's somebody that's resistant to the whole process in the first place. So their idea of pop champagne may just be like, I don't want anything to get broken. Okay, how do we fix that? How do we make that happen? But unless you're asking the multiple levels, the multiple angles, the multiple departments, and the multiple backgrounds of who's going to be involved, you're not going to get a full picture of what success truly looks like. And I've seen it where there have been projects implemented that maybe one, maybe two audiences out of 4 or 5 get asked, how does this become an easy process? What does success look like for you? And I will be honest, those projects failed or didn't succeed to the level that they should have. Because when you get 2 groups that are satisfied and you've got 3 that were left in the dark as far as this question was concerned, their needs are not met. Their concerns are not addressed. They're not talked to in a way that they should be buying into. And so by going around and asking those, you can also level set what is going to happen. So if you've got IT's got one impression, you've got legal that's one impression, you've got sales that's one impression, you got marketing that's one impression, and then executive leadership. If everybody has a different view on what success looks like, you need to bring all of those thoughts and all of those wishes into one conversation with your team that's going to be tackling this initiative, and figure out, how do we as best possible bring all of these pop champagne moments into one, that everybody could celebrate at some level that they gained something out of this process. And so it's really important for external clients, as I mentioned in the speaking example, or internal clients, a la your IT department, your legal department. Who are those people that are involved? But it's really important that we dive into that, because you can assume success all day long. You can go down that route of saying like, well, we're doing this to save money, or we're doing this to make money, or we're doing this to get our technology caught up. But if you're not addressing all of the people that are involved, you're not addressing all of the stakeholders that are going to be impacted in some way, shape, or form, you're not addressing the potential ripple effect of failure or success. So take the time whenever you launch any initiative or project to sit and think, who all is going to be impacted by this decision? And what can I do to quickly touch base with them to figure out how this works in their behalf, on their behalf? Because we all want to be successful. And having been down the path of seeing really great ideas brought to life only to fail or not succeed to the level that they should, I can say firsthand that without asking those questions, you're setting yourself up for failure. Doesn't matter what your pop champagne moment. And imagine popping champagne and being really happy about your success for that project. And then you've got 3 other groups of people that are like, well, glad it worked out for you, but it's caused us 15 new headaches. That's not going to really, provide the best internal culture of success for your organization. So as a leader, as somebody who's involved in these projects, take the time to invest, take the time to ask, take the time, if you're a vendor, if you're engaging a client, ask them and agree to what you're hearing them say is a success metric, is a pop champagne moment. Because I've seen too often, I truly have seen too often that this is what you're going to be gaining from it. This is what's, your success is going to be this. And somebody telling a client what they can expect. And that is not the right way of doing it. If a client says, this is what I need, great. Acknowledge the fact that you can help them succeed in that fact. And maybe your success metrics are add-ons or options for them, things that maybe they aren't thinking about. And there's benefits to working with you that are going to bring these additional success metrics. Bring those second. Because if you're not putting the client first, whether it's an internal or an external client, you're missing a massive opportunity for success. And that's what this is all about. So engage in that level, engage in those questions, ask deeper questions, ask more thoughtful questions on success metrics and outcomes, and figure out what your client needs, whether it's external or internal. But it is truly the path to success for you, for your organization, for your team, for your business. But it just takes a few extra minutes. It takes a little bit more concerted effort, but in the long run, it is all 100% worth it, because you will be known as somebody who is serving the needs of the client. You will be the one that is recognized as someone who listens to the client needs. And that, when it comes to referrals, means the world. Because I will say firsthand that a lot of my clients that have come in through referrals have heard what I've been able to deliver for the ones that have referred me. And then they come in and we talk about their success metrics, just like I did with the first client. So it works. It is worth the time. It is worth the efforts. It is worth listening. Make very detailed notes on what you hear. Repeat back what you hear to the client so that you're on the same page and you understand. And then keep those metrics front of mind as you build your content, as you build the event, as you're working on whatever you're working on. Keep those up in front of you at all times. Because sometimes we'll get in that mode where we're not paying attention to their goals. We're thinking about our goals, creature of habit sometimes. But it's understandable that when we have those goals in front of us for the client, that we will focus on those first. Our goals come second. So, hope you're all having a great week. I hope you have a wonderful, relaxing weekend. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you listening to this. And I hope that it benefits you in some way, that you change your approach just a little bit to serve your clients in a more dedicated client service, client experience manner. Talk to you soon. Go Chiefs.